right? Our eyes are drawn to things that we recognize. So if you recognize somebody from online, or this person has a really big following, or you've seen them a million times, your eyes will be drawn to them automatically. It doesn't mean they're going to pick you, but it is what it is, right? It's human nature. So
Yeah, like I think Jessica, she did like I think 4 or 5 shows that year because she said the same thing. She wanted to be in front of the judges. Lola, she did a couple of shows, but I think she really wanted to focus on Olympia. But I understand that. I understand you want to get recognized. I think it should be about your hard work or your shape, but we all know there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of people who will see if you're more social media adaptable. I know some amazing ladies who have great potential, but they just need to put themselves out there more. We got here my man, the underrated doctors, my brother. He says, salute to you and Jenny and chat. Appreciate it, brother. Also, my man here, KL the Wanderer. What's up? What's up, brother? He also does content on women in bodybuilding. He's more a fan of women muscle than he is about the bodybuilding sport, but he's learning. I support him. And yeah, I talk about this, how bodybuilding is not as worldwide compared to other sports. And you play soccer, that's a very popular sport. It's even getting pick up momentum here in the States. Volleyball, is very popular.
it's huge.
It's just bodybuilding is a sport. It seems an outside sport. We go back again, how they look at it because of the whole thing of steroids.
Yeah.
But I say this again, steroids is only a small factor to it. If you don't follow a diet, you don't work out and train. Kendall is, she's natural competitor. And even with her being a natural competitor, you still get comments where you get too muscular, you get too built, you're on something. No, she's clean. But the fact is, it's just so easy to demonize because of, what happened in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And it's sad because regardless whether somebody's taking something or not, it's their choice. It has nothing to do with you, ma'am, sir. So your opinion about it doesn't matter, right? So I hate when people do that. But also, to your point, people automatically assume that you look a certain way and, oh my gosh, what are you taking is their first question. Not what are you training for? How long have you been doing this? Because I've had people say that to me, like, oh, what are you taking? What supplements do you take? Thanks for reducing, and I literally say this, thank you for reducing my 17 years of hard work to what am I taking? Thank you for that. And then I walk away. Because if you saw my before pictures before I started competing, I didn't look anything like this. This is literally a progression. I can show you 30 shows worth of progression to get to this point. It's not I took a drug and then all of a sudden I woke up like this. Because you're absolutely right. You still have to work. You still have to diet. You still have to do your cardio. You still have to put in the effort. You still have to sleep and stay hydrated. It's not a magic pill, because if it was, we'd all look like this or the way we want to look, right? But yeah, bodybuilding is, I think, underrated. I feel for those women that do bodybuilding and even physique. I tried physique for a while, but for me at my height to be competitive, I'd have to be massive. I'd have to be like 250 pounds off season. And that's not something I'm interested in doing, like work-wise and just feeling comfortable in my own skin, if I'm being honest. But it's funny to me, like I remember competing in Washington, right? I went and competed in Washington State at Tangi Johnson. Do you remember Tangi Johnson? She did fitness way back. Oh yeah, I've been in this for a long time. Tangi Johnson had a show and I went so my dad could see me compete, because at the time before he passed, he was wheelchair bound and he couldn't travel. So I went and I competed. I won the class. I did not win the overall. My dad thinks it was because of politics, because I wasn't from there. But people were saying, he said in the stands when he was out there, they didn't know who he was. They were like, oh, that girl's so big. She's huge. She's huge. And then I walked off stage and came down and said hi to him. And I could hear people whispering, oh, she's not that big. She's not that big. When you see me in person, I'm fit, but I'm not that big. None of us are. Like most of us are not as big as you think. We just look a certain way because we're lean, right? But yeah, people automatically assume that you're taking stuff or whatever. Like they can make whatever assumptions they want, because if you're too, in my opinion, dumb to ask, like that sounds like a you problem. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the problem with people. People go by assumptions, and they don't really just. Where I talk about this, how educate yourself about it. Understand what's involved with it. It's a process, and we understand the process. Then it takes time, and then you trust the process. And when you trust it enough, then everything goes the way you want it to go. You follow the diet, the workout, the plan. It's just there's so much involved in it. And shout out to your dad, because as a father, I never have much of a relationship with my dad, but it was good that he stood by you going through that. Because my mom was wheelchair bound too, sometimes I had to push her around. But you know what? it's good that he wants to see this little girl do the best in her life and what she chose to do. And also, again, with bodybuilding, not just exclusively the physique and your bodybuilding also. It's inclusive to all the divisions, even, excuse me again, but there's divisions that if like when somebody say like female bodybuilding, you're not talking about like just women's bodybuilding. There's physique, there's figure, there's fitness, there's bikini, there's wellness, there's but all of it is all female bodybuilding, just there's different divisions.
But unfortunately, though, I feel like when you say bodybuilding, right, the average person who doesn't know anything, to your point, is like, oh, bodybuilding, because that's what they think. They think of that one top division. And I'm like, but yeah, and then you have to stand there and explain it to people. And I'm also like, I don't feel like explaining this to you. You should Google it. You should Google it and come back when you have some more information.
Or I have to say, or read it is fundamental. So you're teaching, that. This is my man, shout out to my man KL, who says she should do the 2 snaps when they ask you, where are you taking? And also, he says this is, would you do outside of bodybuilding? She mentioned, she has no interest in doing it because, it's hard to put on that muscle, that size, especially when you're tall. I think this is amazing. Like, is there anybody in the sport that you really are a fan of that you currently now that you're just, you're a fan of your mind or you respect your commitment to the sport?
Definitely Lola. There's a lot of people that are in the sport, and it's hard because we're at a weird juncture in 2025. There's a lot of people leaving the sport or retiring, and then there's a new wave of people coming in. So there's space for people. But a lot of my favorites, if I'm being honest, are people that are kind of no longer in it anymore. Like Dana Lynn Bailey, Tycee Coppett. I remember competing with her and being like, I literally said to her, I will gladly take second place to you, ma'am. Nicole Wilkins. Like a lot of the old school athletes are some of my favorites. But Britt from, what is her last name? She competed with me at Triple O. She's really tall, and I think that's one reason why I really like her.
Offers from Canada, Brittany Offers.
Yes. Oh, yeah. She is so sweet too, so humble, so sweet. She's one of my favorites. So I don't know if I have any like super fangirl moments with anybody that's current. A lot of my favorites are going to be some of the old school ladies.
I might also like people like again like Corey Everson, Linda Murray, Vicky Gates, Iris Kyle. One lady I got the pleasure of meeting was about a few years ago when I went to my first bodybuilding show was Alina Popa. Beautiful. I feel like she should have been Miss Olympia a couple of times, and another lady I remember, Amy Rivicchio, she runs Muscle Angels, amazingly. But one lady who I said earlier, she's my girlfriend, and that is Andrea Shaw. I just can't help it. She just, I know I sound like I'm Andre, I want to tell her I'm not stalkerish. I'm just a fan, But I think she's just beautiful. She brings a certain look to it. I think she's truthfully, I would honestly say she saved women's bodybuilding when she came into it because it needed someone like, after the Iris was gone and, some of the other ladies, like I just saw recently, I heard recently that Michaela Aycock has retired. Amazing young lady. I think it's good for her. Maybe you might see her come back because she's still young. But it was, just amazing women in the sport. Like a friend of mine, and I always want to throw this out because to quote my other guy, if you get us something, never do it free. And this is, I always call this my payment. A friend of mine named Eunice. She runs her own company, Bad Rap. She was at the Olympia 2023. She got me this issue of Muscle Development.
Nice.
And I love to talk this out because KL might be hating. I know you're hating KL because you know what? I'm that damn good, not the game. And she took time out and she signed it for me.
Oh, nice.
I always want to show this off because I want to show people of what it takes to be somebody like myself who's not even a bodybuilder, who does content, who try to support y'all ladies. Like I said, I was mostly a fan of women's bodybuilding, mostly. And I've grown into the other divisions. I didn't like physique with came out too much because I call it watered down women's bodybuilding. Didn't much about figure, but I've been expanding myself a little bit. I've interviewed ladies in figure, physique, fitness even. I even interviewed ladies did wellness. Some amateurs in wellness. I'm even reaching out to other divisions. I might even reach out to the other division eventually. But as a person, I want to give the opportunities for y'all ladies to share your story and your path, what got you into the sport.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. Because it's sometimes a path that you walk alone. Because sometimes you're out there just you and yourself and the iron, and you're just grinding just like the guys do. And sometimes people don't understand why you do it or why you want to look like that, regardless of which division you're in. But to me, I just like challenging my body. Your body can do anything that you can recover from, and your body can do anything you ask it to do if you feed it, recover, and train appropriately. So to me, it's a challenge, and I like it. And I also like the factor that 99.89% of the population in the world will never, ever, ever get up on stage in their underpants. So you just showing up, whether you get dead last or you get first place and win the whole thing, guys, you just showing up is an accomplishment, and you should be proud of it. So to people that are interested in getting into the sport, guys and girls, I mean, don't keep putting it off. Set something up and try it. Try it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, one thing is the sacrifice you have to make, especially the life, your time. I know you wish you could spend more time with your family, wish you can do more things. I've talked to ladies who told me that they lost friendships because you're not going out and doing what you like to do, drinking, because you don't drink anymore, and going to
these
parties.
wine fridges are not mine. These are my husband's for sure.
Yeah. Wine doesn't hurt you, just a little, as long as you just go you're like Stone Cold Steve Austin with a thing of beer. But like girl said some bitch, but it's a lot of sacrifices. Like I said again, the work you got to do, the consistency, the diet, the discipline. I mean, ladies tell me that sometimes they will have to make a choice between, okay, I can go to a family event, or I can go train. Also just overall, it can consume your life if you are not aware of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can. And for me, I found that if you just stay organized, then that's useful, right? And it's different when you're single versus being married. Very different, I've experienced. And when you have kids or family, people that you're taking care of or not, if you have a full-time job or you work like night shift or something right? There's a lot of different factors that can be in people's lives about how they go about this and how it can impact those things. But one thing I always remind myself is when I have those days where I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm sacrificing so much. I wish I could go to dinner. Like my husband's dad wanted to go to dinner tonight. And he was like, we can't. Like Jenny can't eat anything right now at the steakhouse. I wish I could, but like we can't go tonight because she's a week out. And like part of me is like, you can go have fun, or I could actually go and just sit there. But then people want to ask you questions about why you're doing that. Why are you sitting here? I just remind myself though, this is voluntary. I signed up for this every day. I choose to put myself through this. Nobody's making me do anything. So if you remind yourself, if you have a good solid reason for why you're doing this, or anything, right? Weight loss in general, trying to build muscle, preparing for a marathon. If you have a reason that's internal and means something to you while you're doing something, just remind yourself this is voluntary, because you can do whatever you want, but you're choosing to do this.
Yeah, I know ladies who sometimes if they go out, they might take their own Tupperware because while everybody else is eating steak and baked potato and eating chicken and rice and quinoa, and it's hard because what, as a fat man, food is a passion. It's like
I love food.
I mean,
absolutely.
The other day I bought, like I said, I have a car in the shop. I'm saying, forget about it. I'm right now saving for a car because my sister gave it to me because she got another car, but it's just I give up on it. But my niece let me borrow her truck. I went do some shopping, do my laundry, and I stopped. One of my, I tell you, Jenny, one of my weaknesses is Chinese food. There's a Chinese place over there to do buffet. I went over there and just sat there, like a big dog. I mean, it be calling me, man. I'm like, Pookie, you drink chili, man. Be calling me.
You sound like you are like in touch with my soul, because I love a good buffet. Don't get it twisted. I can eat like the best of them, to the point where my husband's like, can we leave now? And I'm like, no, I'm going back for more. But I just don't do it all the time. That's the thing. But yeah, I love, there's a good Chinese food place right across the street. I could throw a rock at it. And when I'm off season, trust me, when we have nothing to eat and I'm like, what are we having for dinner? I'm like, let's get some quick Chinese.
Like, tell me, after the triple O, and it was calling you, what was that thing, as my other guy likes to say, that thing that make you stranger or make you stronger? What was that thing? Share with me, Ginny. That thing
I think I really wanted a hamburger, but I made the mistake, George, of going to Chili's. My twin brother was like, let's go to Chili's. So I was like, okay. And I went in my
Chili's,
stomach.
baby back wheels.
I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. And then the next day, I did go to Raising Cane's, the chicken place, with my nephew. Because I don't hang out with him often. So I was like, hey, let's go get some chicken. And so, I mean, it was okay. But then literally the next day I was back on it because I was like, none of that made me feel awesome. Like it was just too much, too fast. And I was like, I don't feel good.
Yeah. I remember talking to one lady, she ate so much ice cream and cake one day, she had to puke. I mean, you got to think about it. You're eating very clean and healthy. And every now and then, it doesn't hurt you because I know your coach gives you a refeed every now and then to help you out because sometimes it's a struggle. And then those like that, something salty, something sweet, something greasy, it hits your body differently. I remember when I was going on my process, I was I went to see my cardiologist. I went to my nephew. We were getting ready for Mother's Day. He asked me pick up some stuff so we can, because my sister, his mother, with my older sister, we were going to do something at her house. So I said, okay, I'll do a little shopping. And I was getting hungry. I said, you know what? I'm going to stop at this Chinese place I know. They had a great buffet. I ate it. I didn't eat it all because it just wasn't the same. It tastes good, but just because I was eating better. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm not perfect. I know this afternoon I had a hoagie with cheese and peppers and stuff like that. And then for my dinner I had some baked chicken with bacon wrapped around it and some broccoli. But like I said, I'm not perfect. But this is the thing about being a competitor, especially for y'all women, the cost of it. The guys do pay a good amount of money, especially between gear and training and eating. But you ladies, the cost of getting ready for show day, that is the big expense. Because not only you have to look presentable, you have to look very beautiful, attractive. You have to have your hair done, your nails done, your makeup. You got to get the hair. I don't have to worry about that anymore, guys. All they got to do, just got to wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts and put on your tan. But ladies, you have to have suits that cost you maybe a car note or your rent or a mortgage. Travel to the shows, and you also doing masters. Meaning that's another charge you have to pay.
Yeah,
it's just I feel like bodybuilding should be a little bit more lucrative for your competitors.
Yeah, I wish it was. And like Triple O did a great job of that. Those three ladies, the promoters of that show, did an amazing job of bringing in some really big promoters who put some money behind it, some sponsors behind it. And they were able to give away, what was it, $10,000 to first place in open figure and $3,000 to the winner of Masters. So, and that's like unheard of. Usually Masters doesn't get any money, and $10,000 for figure is also unheard of for bodybuilding, or potentially, of course, men's bodybuilding. Of course, that's nothing for them. So it is growing, and there is going to be a little bit more money behind on the women's sides. But yeah, it is a very expensive hobby, incredibly expensive hobby. And yeah, suits are very expensive, and you don't want to wear your same suit too many times. As somebody who's very tall and has different dimensions than other people, it's not like I can just go to the next competitor and be like, hey, can I borrow your old suit? I have Ellen from Crystallini Bikini. She's amazing. She makes my suits. She has all of my measurements, and they fit like a freaking glove. Like that purple one from Triple O, I'm going to wear it again. Beautiful suit. But then to your point, I got to get jewelry to match it. So Sharonica sent me to her lady. And so I have a new jewelry and a new set for that. And then your shoes. And yeah, the makeup is $200, but they do a great job. And of course, tanning and stuff. But yeah, it's a whole situation. It's a lot. And oh yeah, don't forget your nails, and like you said, your hair. I got my show hair on right now, but trust, as soon as I'm done with this show, like literally a week later, I'm putting my locks back in because I am not a fan of the weave when it gets sweaty. It's not the best in the gym. It looks nice on stage when I do it right. I'm in, it's 4:00 here in Arizona, so this is after a full day. My curls have fallen out, but yeah, I miss my locks. But yeah, getting your nails done and all that kind of stuff, and it is a very, very expensive hobby. So, I mean, but my husband plays golf. That's an expensive hobby.
Well, here's the thing with golf, you can make a living off of, depending if you get into the PGA or there's Live now. That's very popular. But with bodybuilding, unless you are even the top percent in the Olympia, like guys like Samson Dua, who walks away with nearly like $500,000. Derek Lungford, Icky Arnold, walks away with $500,000. And even though that show doesn't have women's bodybuilding physique or figure anymore, I mean, this is my favorite quote. As Arnold walked quiet behind women's bodybuilding, and and physique and figure and staffing in the heart, and opportunities is just it's great that you have those opportunities. Some
Mhm.
ladies they have to find ways and circumvent to make their money. There's certain things to do, but you know what? You never talk about how some people that make their money their way. If it's not your way, cool, fine. But
Yeah.
you know what? If this was a sport where there was more opportunities to, sponsorship like that and anything can help you out, because are you sponsored?
I am not. I am not. And the way that it goes, like anymore with sponsorship and the social media presence you have to have and how many times you have to post, and I'm just not flat out not interested in doing that. It's never been my thing. And so I'm not going to lie to myself and like force it just to make some dollars. Everything else that I do with all my training and my youth stuff, it makes me money. So I'm good. And I mean, I don't endorse a certain brand of supplements. I'm totally that person who buys whatever's cheapest. I'm like, Amazon, what do we need here? I need some great, like whatever is the cheapest is what I'm gonna buy. So I'm not sponsored. I mean, if one of my suit makers or jewelry people want to sponsor me, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Hey, shut up. Hey, this is your client. Hey, you put up a few dollars in the pockets. Hey, that helps out because you know what? That can cover costs of if you do a master show because you have to pay to compete as masters. Also, your cost of you traveling to the show, pay for gas or rent a car or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, I think there's at least within the areas more opportunities for shows like, as you know, if coming up May is the Legion show that's in
Yes.
Reno, but
Mm-hmm.
they dropped figure because I interviewed a lady who told me that, and dropped women's physique. I interviewed the last lady who earned a pro Olympic qualification at the Legions, and a friend of mine he competed there. Making his return after taking a hiatus from bodybuilding. He's a great guy. My big brother, Mr. Big Keith, we sometimes come out here, we do our podcast together. And like I said, again, as a fan, and for y'all ladies, I wish there was more opportunities for y'all. We all know, yes, it's a popularity contest and be on social media. I mean, my friend Eunice was the one who sponsored the jackets for both the winners of the for the winners in the show because she really want to see opportunities for women in bodybuilding. Just in general, she's a great person.
I'd be curious to know what the decision is behind removing it from shows, whether it's women's physique, bodybuilding, or figure, because it seems to be, getting dropped from more and more shows. So I'd be curious to find out more about why they're doing that. It's not that there weren't people showing up for it, because there were. Like, we're all just as surprised. So
What I remember is, was it earlier, like a few months ago, they dropped women's bodybuilding from the Tampa Bay Pro. And that was there for a long time. Tim Gardner's promoted because they couldn't have a sponsor division. But a guy who I'm a fan of, and I got to do this, guys. You guys, I got to do it. I got to do it. Yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that gun, Mr. Jake Wood, the guy who runs Wings of Strength, and also he owns the Olympia. He and Lena Popa stepped up and put up the sanction fees for women's bodybuilding. It's just they can't use the excuse that no one's going to see the competitions. But I think the big problem is finding people who want to promote it. I tell guys out there, if you're guys who are a fan of the sport and you feel like, hey, well, I'm not seeing this division here, reach out to these promoters. Say, I'm willing to help out, maybe put up the prize money and the sanction fees. But the thing is, they have to make money back from it. You put in something, you got to get back out of it.
yeah, I mean, maybe there's a way we can start a GoFundMe and then just dole it out.
That's the thing. GoFundMe, it's a hit or miss. Right now, I was hoping to try to go to another vitamin show, and I set up a GoFundMe. It's right there. It's in my ticket right there. My GoFundMe, my Cash App, like that, because I want to go to a bodybuilder show. I don't get a lot of money because I live on disability, and by the time I pay my bills and like that, and about broke, I got a car in the shop that I was thinking about getting out, but I said, you know what, the guy had for each of the year. I say fuck it and just save some money and just get myself a new car because it's easier just to get another one and maybe it'll last you a good while for this other one because the other one I got was my sister. She gave it to me. It doesn't back up anymore. The door don't want to open. It's just
more problems.
Yeah, more problems that I had to keep fixing. So I just bit off. I wanted to go to the Atlanta Pro because my oldest niece, she stays up there. I go stay with her. And I can catch an Uber around there, save me cost of a hotel room and check out the show because I want the opportunity to go out there. Savannah was my last show I went to, and that was back in 2022. But I want to go out there and meet y'all ladies and talk to y'all ladies and get the perspective and understand. I mean, as a content maker, I really want to, really expand myself and really get to know more, and it takes to travel, But like I said, again, it's just about right now. I have to take care of some business first. And then once things get settled, I like to get the opportunity to do that.
We got to get you a sponsorship. We need to get you with one of these companies that's at one of the Olympia Expos or something so that they can fly you out there and then you can go do all their interviews and stuff for them. We got to figure this out.
I don't know about flying. I'm like Mr. T from the 18. You got to put something in my milk or something, I don't know about flying. Hey, fool! I don't know about flying.
My auntie is like that. We'll take the bus with you. We'll take the bus or the train.
I'll take a train. I don't know if car drive be too long. I might do it. It's time for me. I'm like I said, it's time for me to get out of there. I need to try to, I get to the point where I start becoming an old man. I like to watch old westerns, and stuff like that. Like, thank you, Miss Ma'am. This is how I was raised. Your
inner 80-year-old is coming out, George.
Yeah, I'm an old country boy, ma'am. That's all. I can't help that. That's how I was raised to get up with the chickens. My family was sharecroppers. That's true. We were sharecroppers. We worked. But yeah, I think as a fan, as anybody who loves the sport, we need more people to step up. I know a guy named Glenn. He runs his own magazine. We say one thing we need to do is he likes to help the sponsor athletes, and also we need people to put the opportunities for the competitors, be it you women's bodybuilding, be it men's bodybuilding. The guys this is how I say about the guys' division is the bottom bitch. Excuse my language, ma'am. But it's the one that always gets the attention, the money. But y'all ladies, y'all put in just as much work, just as much time. It's a different level compared to the man. Like when you're training, what's